There is one 90-Day Fiancé couple whose marital trouble claims aren't adding up. 90-Day Fiancé Season 11 just wrapped up, and Shekinah Garner and Sapa Govan's marriage was in a very hot and cold place. Shekinah and Sapa were originally featured in 90-Day Fiancé, the other way Seasons 5 and 6, when the pair were trying to figure out what they wanted their future to look like. After realizing being in Turkey was not going to work for them full-time, Shekinah and Sapa applied for the K1 visa, and Sapa landed in America in fall 2024. Sapa had a lot of difficulty adjusting to being in America without work and family, and his and Shekinah's past issues of mistrust, quick-to-anger moments, and miscommunications continued. Despite which, the pair decided to get married. However, when they showed up to the Season 11 tell-all, they had a lot of resentment towards one another. Sapa had moved out for 10 days, less than a month after their wedding. They spent the night before the tell-all in separate rooms, and Shekinah spent Christmas alone. However, they may be putting up a false front. Shekinah and Sapa were painting an interesting financial picture leading up to 90-Day Fiancé Season 11. The pair had an agreement that Sapa would pay for Shekinah's trips to Turkey, since she was doing all the traveling. However, it was unclear how Sapa afforded that given he is only a fitness instructor and lost half his clientele when Shekinah said he couldn't train females. On Shekinah's side, she came off as very rich because she was able to afford plastic surgeries, put her daughter through boarding school, and live a lavish-looking lifestyle. But during 90-Day Fiancé Season 11, when Shekinah and Sapa were talking to Shekinah's friends and the idea of a prenup came up, there was some alarming news. Shekinah said a prenup would be wise, but Sapa was very against it. Shekinah protested that a prenup would help Sapa too, since he had more assets than her. So in Season 11, when Sapa says he is relying on Shekinah, it doesn't really make sense. It seems like the dynamic and portrayal they are trying to show is not entirely accurate when it comes to their finances and how they arrange them. Even though Shekinah and Sapa had been on 2 seasons of The Other Way, there was a huge piece of news that fans didn't find out until Season 11. The pair had previously dropped the bomb that Sapa had a child that he never saw, and that Sapa wanted a child with Shekinah. However, that storyline and huge conversation were dropped in favor of a different narrative. In Season 11, Sapa divulged that he had been married before. Usually, that means someone is in love, but Sapa has sworn up and down that he's only ever loved Shekinah. Sapa being a divorcee was convenient news because it added another layer to his and Shekinah's drama. It almost seemed fabricated since Sapa being a player before Shekinah was an idea that heavily pushed between the pair. So when Shekinah and Sapa detail their marital problems, it's hard to tell whether they are setting the optics up to echo how Sapa felt about his first divorce, which was that he regretted it. Another reason why Sapa and Shekinah might be fooling 90-Day Fiancé fans is because, during the tell-all, they came back together in a mushy way after an ugly fight when Sapa gave Shekinah an overdue sizable wedding ring. The gesture seemed planned and is suspect considering how much disdain they had for one another shortly before that moment. Moreover, Shekinah and Sapa were recently spotted by a 90-Day Fiancé fan, via Polished Snake 2 on Reddit, with Sapa's parents. The foursome were stateside as they were catching a flight from Miami to La. Things must be better than they are letting on if Sapa's parents, whom he is very close to, were able to come to America and visit the pair. The 90DF alumni couple seem to inflate their issues on screen, when things aren't in peril in real life. Shekinah and Sapa could have an angle to the tactic of high-emotion drama on screen versus a relatively normal life off-screen. They could be trying to retain their 90-Day Fiancé spotlight by coming up with new angles and dynamics in their relationship that lead them to have strong reactions that draw viewers. With their alleged marital problems, Shekinah and Sapa could be gearing up to try and be cast on the 90-Day, The Last Resort spin-off, which is a therapy-style show. Shekinah is also no stranger to reality TV, as she was previously on Baggage and Millionaire Matchmaker, so her goal may be to retain her celebrity. Moreover, there were rumors that Shekinah, Sapa, and her family would get their own spin-off, as her family had a Kardashian-like vibe. In any case, Sapa and Shekinah may be trying to present themselves as authentically as they can, and they have as many wild problems as they portray. However, There are certain things that happen on screen versus in real life that don't add up. The 90 Day Fiancé franchise gives many cast members with played-out and predictable storylines screen time after time, and Sarpa and Shekinah, regardless of their authenticity, may be one of them. 90 Day Fiancé couple Shekinah Garner and Sarpa Govern responded to divorce rumors after revealing marriage problems at the tell-all. Sarpa and Shekinah's journey began during The Other Way Season 5 with the Turkish man revealing his bad boy past. Sarpa shed his old ways for Shekinah as he moved to the US in 90 Day Fiancé Season 11. The couple ended up getting married on a bed. Shekinah and Sarpa admitted their marriage was already on the rocks within a year of getting married at the reunion, but does it mean they're getting divorced? At 90 Day Fiancé_Alexa shared a clip from Shekinah and Sarpa being interviewed for the Sarah Fraser show where they were asked to address the divorce rumors. "We're happy. We try to be happy," Sarpa replied. He added that while getting married is a difficult thing, they're still trying their best. Sarpa mentioned how they have problems and a lot of ups and downs, but they still love each other. Shekinah and Sarpa admitted their marriage was already on the rocks within a year of getting married at the reunion, but does it mean they're getting divorced? At 90 Day Fiancé_Alexa shared a clip from Shekinah and Sarpa being interviewed for the Sarah Fraser show where they were asked to address the divorce rumors. "We're happy. We try to be happy," Sarpa replied. He added that while getting married is a difficult thing, they're still trying their best. Sarpa mentioned how they have problems and a lot of ups and downs, but they still love each other. Shekinah spoke about how neither of them actually wanted to get married. Sarpa had been married before, and they thought they could live forever happy together without having that commitment. However, they had to marry because of the K-1 visa. Shekinah admitted that it was something that scared both of them, and they had a wedding, since it was the least scary place for them. Shekinah and Sarpa previously spoke about how they never wanted to get married during the debut season. They didn't think they needed some kind of documentation to prove their love and commitment to each other. Still, Shekinah kept flying back and forth from Los Angeles to Istanbul to be with Sarpa, and it was getting hectic. It was an expensive affair for Sarpa as he struggled to book female clients. Shekinah didn't trust him around other women, but she also wanted him to pay for her flights and expenses in Turkey. Eventually, they thought it was best for Sarpa to relocate to America. He developed cold feet one too many times and almost gave up. Sarpa didn't like being dependent on Shekinah. He craved independence, but it looks like he's finally standing on his feet as he stars in stand-up shows and conducts fitness workshops. Shekinah and Sarpa have always had arguments on 90 Day Fiancé and almost broke up. Sarpa has yet to discuss what the problems in their marriage are. It appears that Sarpa and Shekinah will appear in 90 Day, The Last Resort Season 3 next. They are dealing with issues that are worse than the ones that 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After couples have. There might be something that still holds them together as they navigate life together after 90 Day Fiancé Season 11. Hopefully, therapy helps them figure that out.